Hello, welcome. This is Blockchain Bloom, the blockchain educator. I'm Attila Pinke, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about a lot of things. Let's compare Bitcoin, silver, gold, how they performed in this year, 2025. Also talking about Bitcoin and crypto in general. Also some predictions for 2026, because the game continues. The year will finish, but it doesn't mean really anything. We see strategy, Metaplanet still stacking Bitcoin. However, some experts saying that most crypto treasuries will kind of disappear. We're also going to have a look how the inflows and outflows are into crypto spot ETFs. The chances for the rate cut at the next FOMC meeting, which will be in January, and a lot of other things, to be honest with you. So it will be a jam-packed episode. And don't forget, every single day, I'm bringing you the freshest cryptocurrency and blockchain news here on Blockchain Bloom to keep you up to date. Now, of course, I had this Christmas break like everybody else, and this is now the latest last video in this year. But of course, in January 2026, we are going to continue here at the Blockchain Bloom. And hit the like button if you like this kind of content. And now let's do it. All right, so when we're looking at the prices, we can see that actually Bitcoin is down 1% in the last 24 hours, 87,641 US dollar. For a while, we are at this level. Ethereum down 0.5%, 2,973 US dollar. The top gainer is Pippin up 8%, the Canton up 6%, Midnight up 2.5%, but really that's it. Losers, not big losers. Story down 7%, Arrow down 5-6%, and the Mantle down about 5.5%. And when we looking at the Bitcoin candlestick chart, we can see here, this is the weekly chart, and it shows pretty much that we had here on the 17th of November, on that week, this big candle down with the huge wick, and since that basically we are just sideways, and we are just usually closing weeks above this 86,000-ish level. Sorry, 86,000-ish level. So this is what continues. When we're looking at on the daily, we see that here we had this bear flag. We broke out, but we didn't continue so far. So what's happening usually when Bitcoin is going sideways just like that, sooner or later a breakout is coming, but we don't know it's going to break to the downside or going to break to the upside. So this is what we have to wait and act accordingly, obviously. So it's very important, in my opinion, to have a lot of dry power now. This is what I do because when we're changing the trend, because now we are in the downtrend, then definitely I will vote to get more into the game. However, if we go more down, then there will be nice opportunities to re-enter. So I think this is a key thing, very important to keep an eye on. And also when we're looking at the market, we are still in extreme fear, and Bitcoin has now spent more consecutive days in extreme fear than any time in its history. So I think this is also a very, very interesting one. And this is what we see all over the place. Bought Simpson patterns. Here's another one which shows it clearly. Look, these candles that we go up and we go back, and this is sometimes happening in an hour or in a couple of hours time. So this is just really not normal, and it's really, really highly manipulated, also in my opinion. So anyway, now I think we still have to be patient, wait what's going to happen. When we really change the trend, you will have time definitely enter, because you're going to see it. But I right now rather on the safe side. It saved me when we decided here at Blockchain Bloom around this 8th of October when it turned out it's a fake out. Then we started to DCA out heavily, and yes, actually it was worthy, because therefore now we have a dry power what we can re-enter when the time is ready. But going to see how it works out. This is now end of the year for tax reasons, many other reasons. People also taking out money, taking profit. And 2026 is going to be a very, very interesting one. But let's look at now the precious metals, just like gold, silver, and Bitcoin, how they performed in this year, because Bitcoin, we have to say it wasn't the best when we compare it to these precious metals. All right, so look, this is how pretty much the whole thing looks like. And even S&P 500 recently in the Q4 is doing much better than Bitcoin. So look, gold, this is how it looked recently, silver, S&P 500, and now we have Bitcoin. And when we're going back to the candlestick chart, we can see now recently a little bit gold came down on the daily. We can see yesterday we had a correction. We came down all this level. Now this so far found the support, and let's see, it can pump back. When we're looking at silver, again, the same like gold yesterday. So because it went up like parabolically, and then, some correction. Now actually the story a little bit continues. And but let's zoom out. So first of all, silver, since the beginning of the year, it went up 185% in 2025. Gold went up 74%. And when we're looking at Bitcoin, basically this year, wait, where did I put that? Oh, there you go. It's somewhere there hidden. It went down 6%. So the opening price at the beginning of this year was higher than it is now. And but then let's zoom out. So Bitcoin, when we're looking at the Bitcoin candlestick chart, look at this one. Overall, for years, how well it performed. And it broke always, after a couple of years, another new all-time high. When we compare it, for example, to silver. Yes, silver recently have done very, very well. And in this year compared to Bitcoin, no question. But when you zoom out, then you see that silver was just under $50 back in spring 2011. And actually, it just broke even this year in autumn 2025. In these 14 years, it was under that, and now it's coming back. And finally, now we were, above $83 as well. So, and it's a bit similar to gold. So these metals now performing extremely well, but in the last decade, they didn't do it like this. And Bitcoin have shown a lot of strengths during those years. And yes, now this year wasn't that strong for Bitcoin, but we have to say that it doesn't mean that, again, for example, in 2026, Bitcoin cannot outperform gold and silver. So you always should look, zoom out and looking in long term, because that's very, very important. And if you zoom out and you see silver price, what is it doing? Now it's great, but those who invested in silver for long time, for years and years, it just went down. Why? Bitcoin is going up and up. But yes, sometimes one, sometimes the other performs better. So I just wanted to highlight this. However, I think it's a very important sign that when everything goes up, I mean, I know Bitcoin is not now that much, but when you see like gold, silver, palladium, all these kind of precious metals, it could be a warning that something is cooking and how strong really the economy is and how much it is fake. And in next year, there will be a lot of money printing, I do believe, coming. Rate cuts probably going to continue, especially with the new Fed chair. So yeah, it could be an interesting year, and it could be an interesting year definitely with Bitcoin. If we are patient, we can have great entries. And yes, you always make the biggest profit, the base for the biggest profit in the bearish period, because then when you enter, then you will have nice gains, and not when the the FOMO is already there. All right. Okay. Now let's talk about some experts are saying that actually most crypto treasury is going to disappear. Right. So here is this article, and this article, Alton Tutor is saying here that most Bitcoin treasury companies will disappear with the rest of the DATs he predicts. Tutor said that the crypto treasuries focus on altcoins will be the first to go, as they won't be able to sustain their company's market value above the value of their crypto holdings, a key metric to investor called MNAV. So yes, recently we have seen so many companies, investing not just in Bitcoin but also in altcoins, and their assets not performing that well. And let's see how these companies can actually survive. But definitely the biggest bull is strategy, and strategy is continuously accumulating Bitcoin. Their average price is right now $74,997 per Bitcoin, and they have accumulated now already 672,497 Bitcoin. And it looks like they are not in trouble at all. Another one, it's Metaplanet. They also keep accumulating. They have 35,102 Bitcoin already. And, they just bought another bag of Bitcoin, 4,279 Bitcoin. So these companies keep accumulating. Those who, building treasuries with altcoins, well, they probably going to have a difficult time, but will they survive? The future will tell. Okay, and now finally, let's talk about how the situation is, how bullish and bearish we are. Let's look at the ETFs, outflows, and so on and so forth. I think this is always great data when we're looking at here hyper liquid wallet positions distribution in real time. We have here also the P&L, and before we had all this on-chain data, but I think this data shows it now much better, that what the big guys, what the big money is thinking. And look at those with profit and loss here, more than 1 million up and above. Between 100,000 and 1 million, all these guys here are bearish at the moment, right? And or even money printers, smart money, arbitrage pros, the big guys. These one are usually wrecked masters and others. They are very, very bullish. When we're looking at here also the positions, we can see that here now the bottom are the big guys, slightly bearish. We are slightly bullish, so we are still more bearish than bullish. And I believe this is much more important. Whatever people FOMO in, don't forget, everything has 50%. So when when an alt goes down, saying, okay, we are going down, the trend is downwards, and less DCA in some shitty altcoins. What if it's half on its value again and again and again? You don't know. So it's very important now to wait for the bottom, figure out where the trend is going. I do believe that we could see in Q1 relief rally, which could bring back the sentiment, the FOMO. But will it last? It's a great question, and we don't know it for sure. Yes, if we turn back bullish, I will be back bullish, but I always go with the trend. And right now, in my opinion, the trend is bearish. So I wait until I see the signal that yes, we are turning. And I don't mind if I miss the bottom. Who cares? If it really starts to go up, you have now, because everything is down, plenty of time, or not plenty of time, not like when it starts to go up, then you don't have months, but then you see which way the trend is going. But if we would go further down, I think it's not a great idea to get heavy into alts now. People could be lucky, but in long term, you just cannot do it with luck. You have to have a strategy. And in long term, this always saved me. In short term, sometimes, some people take risk and maybe they win. Okay, it can happen, but this is not what you can keep up for a long time. And also, when you're looking at the tons of outflows now from Bitcoin spot ETFs, well, obviously they're still positive, so not like everything came out, but now the way they rather just outflows than inflows. And also, when we're looking at the chances for the next FOMC meeting and the rate cut, the rate cut at the FOMC meeting, which is going to be on the 28th of January, then a really slim chance for another rate cut. And also, when we're looking at here March data, it's also that most likely, but it's almost neck and neck now here, that we're going to stay like this. However, this can always change, but right now the rate cut happened in December, and then Jerome Powell also said that we're done for a while, probably. So this always, for now, it's a little bit bearish. But I do believe that in 2026, we're going to have great opportunities. We're going to have a new Fed chair. There will be money printing. We had the end of quantitative tightening. A QE could start at some point in 2026. And all these things can bring attention to the more liquid and more risky market. We have Donald Trump now as a president, and all these things probably sooner or later will bring back crypto and the prices. How long it will last, I don't know. When it's going to be, I don't know. But this is the reason why I always watch the market every single day. And when the price is, going down, sentiment is bearish, I stay here. Stay here because I would like to catch the pivot. When we go up again, when we start to go up and then re-enter into the market, I think this is a very, very important one. And always take profit all the way on the way up, because yes, you can say that, okay, whenever it's all-time high, then I take profit. How do you know when is the all-time high? Every single time when we have a correction, sooner or later, one of the corrections is start for a longer bearish period. And yes, we have corrections all the way up, even in Bitcoin, but after a time, it comes down a bit more, and it can stay down for a month or for a year. But what's happening after that? It's coming back. So make sure you take profit and your portfolio is gaining, cycle to cycle, if we can still talk about some kind of cycles, and so on and so forth. Because if you zoom out and you think in 5-10 years and you see what kind of momentums could happen in crypto, which direction we're going. When you're looking at now the banks, you can now, BlackRock and the others, how they're thinking about tokenization, all these kind of things. And we're living in a digital world. I think crypto will have a nice future. However, now we are at early stage, and we shouldn't really forget that really now 2025 was the year when actually the big guys really understood what's happening here. And since 2024, when the first Bitcoin spot ETF came out in January, now the participants are totally changing. And because of that, they would like to, I think, simply just buy on a lower price. It's for them, it's not the time now to push up the prices. Now it's push down the prices that they can enter with more. And also, don't forget, now in autumn, more and more crypto ETFs started to come out. And this is going to continue. So for altcoin prices, for them, it's also great to push them down so they have a nice gain. Sooner or later, they would like to enjoy their gains and their investments. So they will have the power to pump the price again. But you should be very careful when the price is pumping. Then you shouldn't forget about some profits already. And yes, you can leave something to go up and wait, but just don't leave everything, because as you can see, the market is heavily manipulated now. Every single time, anytime basically can happen a correction. You wake up, you look at the portfolio, okay, what happened? Maybe just a simple manipulation. So keep that in mind, that the market is changing, the behavior is changing, the participants are changing, but there are still great opportunities in crypto, in my opinion. So guys, don't forget that every single day I'm bringing you the freshest cryptocurrency and blockchain news here on Blockchain Bloom. This was the last video in this year, so I wish you a happy new year. See you in next year. Subscribe if you would like to keep yourself up to date. Hit the like button if you like this kind of content, and see you in the next one. Have a good one. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.